right, Section YY8 podcast. This is a rarity. 2 episodes within, 4 days? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, 4 days. So y'all are getting your money's worth this week, even though it's a free podcast, but we're not subscription based. So it's free to you all, but we're putting in a lot of work for you guys. But good to be back. We're going to try to start recording on Sunday nights. Seems to be easier for everybody to get to, except Big Montana. He's on the phone. He's just too busy. Supposedly with a customer, Harbin. What do you think?
Allegedly.
He'll join us shortly, hopefully. So if we get a buzz in here later in the podcast from Big Montana, don't be surprised. But we got Harb here with us this week, sporting his Red Sox. Do you call it a toboggan or what else do they call it? A beanie or... I call it a toboggan.
It could be a boggin. It could be a beanie. Some call it a hat. I don't know. I call it should be on the clearance rack with the moves we've been making.
I was telling Hard before we started recording, he has his Red Sox toboggan on. I should have wore my Chicago Cubs toboggan. We could have commiserated together about our team's front office, either lack of vision or willingness to spend money or make smart moves right now. Probably all of those.
They're just worried about making money. They don't care about winning in the process, which is sad in my opinion. We need somebody that cares about sports to own a team instead of just a businessman. That's just personally though.
That's the Cubs are like that too. So I feel your pain. Also got Day Vol here with us this week. He's ready to talk some Vols basketball. Kentucky Wildcats coming to town, and hopefully Day's got some transfer portal updates for us here later in the show.
A lot of it's leaked already.
Well, we're going to say that you leaked it. Day Vol has breaking portal news. Football transfer portal, not just
not basketball.
We'll play the ABC News breaking news theme later in the show when it comes to that. Well, let's get right into it. Big Montana hopefully will join us shortly. Gavin must be asleep again, but he did text us the other day and said he listened to the podcast, sounded great, criticized some of the audio, which there was some audio issues, but he did say he was asleep. So we just record too late for Gavin. I think if we recorded at 8:00, it would be too late for him. It sounds like
we're gonna have to start recording at 6 a.m.
Well, too early morning. It'd be like the
then you wouldn't be seeing any of me.
No, I would not be here either. So let's talk Vols basketball first. We'll look back at the South Carolina game that happened on Saturday, and then we'll look ahead to what they got coming up this week. They've got 2 conference games this week on Tuesday and Saturday. But let's look back to yesterday. Of course, we know we talked last week. They pummeled Mississippi State in Thompson Bowling last Tuesday night. They did the same thing again yesterday to the Gamecocks in South Carolina. We got a little revenge on them for football, even though it still doesn't count. But it did feel good to just beat the Cocks to death yesterday, Harbin. 85-42, 43-point win. The worst loss in the 20-year history of Colonial Life Arena for the Gamecocks. Tennessee did it all yesterday. They always play defense. They shot 51% from the field, 45% from 3-point range, 5 of 7 at the free throw line. Out-rebounded South Carolina by, 27, 48-21. Just destroyed them on the offensive glass, 18-7 on the defensive glass, 30-14. Tennessee had 19 assists, had 14 turnovers, which was a little elevated, but some of those were in the second half when, the game was over at halftime, let's be honest. But Tennessee right now is playing at a really high level. I don't know, they haven't played 2 of the better teams in the country. Mississippi State's probably mediocre to above mediocre SEC team. South Carolina's either them or Vandy's the two worst teams in the conference. You could probably arguably say South Carolina's the worst. But you could say Tennessee's playing some of the best basketball in the country right now, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was watching the what game was it this afternoon? Cincinnati and Houston game. And at halftime, Seth Greenberg and LaFonso Ellis did their top five. LaFonso had Tennessee 2. Seth Greenberg had Tennessee 3. But looking at the list, LaFonso had Alabama ahead of Tennessee. Seth Greenberg had Kansas and Alabama above Tennessee. You could arguably say Tennessee should at least have been number 2 in Seth's. But I mean, Tennessee's right there with them right now with the way they're playing. And again, I know they've played not the two best teams in the conference right now or even the country, but you got to be impressed with the way the Vols are playing right now.
Yeah. I mean, we're still playing lockdown defense, and we're actually starting to put it together on the offensive side. We're shooting the ball. So if we shoot the ball pretty good and play hard defense, man, there's not many teams out there that can beat us. Like you said, I mean, South Carolina's not a juggernaut, but if we would have scored 0 points in the second half, we'd have still won.
Yeah.
And we did that on the road in conference play. That's ridiculous. I mean, you win by 43 on the road directly after you win by, 33 or 34 or whatever it was?
I think it was 34.
Yeah, against Mississippi State, who was, I mean, you can talk about their schedule all you want, but they was 11-2 before that. I mean, ain't bad.
No.
Yeah, so this gravy train's rolling. I tell you who's looked good during the stretch is Kamla. He's looked really good. So we keep it up, man. It's looking like it's going to be really good during SEC play.
Day, you're a big basketball guy. What do you think about the Vols play right now?
It's at a very high level. It's pretty crazy to see. Never have I gotten bored watching them beat somebody so bad, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You always love when your team's just killing, but it's just like, man, this is kind of boring to watch. It's the players usually get uninterested in what's going on. It's more me. I guess that's a good thing. Is that how all the blue bloods feel?
I guess that's how Alabama and Clemson and all them feel when they're beating up on Wofford and Tennessee Tech and all those teams in football. But no, You're right. I mean, I didn't get home till right after halftime yesterday. I was listening on the radio, unfortunately, to the Vol Network, except for Bert. He's good. But I got home and was sitting there watching the second half, and I was like, changing the channel, see the other score. I never do that when Tennessee's playing, but I was checking in on other games that were going on.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's a good thing, though. I mean,
but on-court play, they are humming. And I saw something, I don't know, it was on Twitter. So I don't know who the guy was, but he said, who is in Kansas's league right now? And I'm like, are we seriously going to say this? Just because Tennessee has 2 losses. And I know one was ugly. I get it. But both of them, you didn't have a key piece. And they preach that in basketball. One player makes a big difference. Football, I mean, it's pretty interchangeable for the most part, minus QB. But he's a very big piece. And right now, he's playing a bench role and coming off and dropping 10 to 15 a game and looking smooth doing it. And it's just like, yeah, Tennessee's in their league. They'll be ranked 7th or whatever. They're not going to move up. They're not going to get any respect. But that's okay. They play better when it's like that, honestly. So I say leave it be.
Yeah, I was talking to some people at lunch today. I felt like Tennessee would probably move into the top 5 this week. They should. Now, like you said, will they? It's hard to say, but, I just looking at the way they're playing right now, it's going to be hard for people to leave them out of at least the top 5, if not higher.
I don't care who it is. You beat somebody by 43 points, and the other team only scores 42. That's incredible. I mean, it's hard to fathom. It's just, I don't know. And you can say, oh, well, they're making everything, they'll cool off. Yeah, they will, but their defense is always going to be there. And that's the nice thing about this.
It's true.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, as like I said last week, if Tennessee plays like they're playing right now, nobody's going to beat them. If their defense is going to be there every night. They're going to rebound pretty much every night. If they shoot the ball the way they're shooting right now, I promise you, they're not going to lose a game the rest of the season. If they do, tip your hat to whoever beats them, because that means they played at an even higher level than Tennessee is. But
yeah,
I was telling, I can't remember who it was a couple of weeks ago, I was not mad or aggravated, but I was a little concerned about Vescovi because he was missing free throws. He wasn't shooting well. I know he's been banged up, but that Ole Miss game, if he went 3 for 7 at the free throw line, if he goes 5 for 7, that game's over a minute before it doesn't go down to a last second shot from Ole Miss. And he was missing shots that he normally makes that was keeping teams in the game, and he's not doing that right now. He's making contested shots, open shots, tough shots, and I know he's missing some, but he's making shots. Everybody else is making shots. I mean, good grief, Adu's hitting threes.
Yeah, Nkamhoua like 15 for 15 or whatever it is.
Nkamhoua has not missed a shot in 2023. And I mean, he's playing out of his mind right now. Like Harbin said a minute ago, I've been a big fan of Adu, and that dude's coming into his own a little bit. Still got room to get better, but Tennessee's so deep right now too. You look, Meshack comes off the bench, but he doesn't need to score, but he's playing defense and rebounding. Tawaka is coming off the bench and rebounding his rear end off and doing the little things. This team is just super deep right now.
Hell, Euros is even playing pretty good right now.
Yeah, I mean, where did these post moves come from all of a sudden?
Talk to me, Landry Stanton.
And he dunked yesterday, like about fainted when I saw it.
Like real dunk.
Not a dunk, but a dunk. He
like a slam it on home, big fella.
Slam, yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it home. Bring it down. But I mean, everybody, they're just clicking right now. I hope it continues. They're going to hit a slump or a rut
it's
here
gonna
or
happen.
something.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 3 games into an 18-game conference schedule. So, and they're playing the easiest part of their schedule right now too. So
right.
Keep that in mind. But
right. Well, we need to stay grounded because I mean we're beating up on the teams that we should. Now, granted, we're beating them by more than what we expected. But I think the biggest thing for how we're playing right now is Vescovi's playing how he thought he was going to in the preseason, and Josiah is playing very good as well. So barring that he stays healthy and Vescovi keeps pouring it in games where it matters, I guess is a good way to put it, this team is going to go as far as them 2 guys take us. That's my personal opinion on it. If we get to March and them 2 guys are humming and healthy, we can make it deep as run as anybody.
Oh, I agree.
It starts at the top with them 2.
Yeah. No, you're right. It does. And having Triple J back's huge right now. Even if he doesn't score much, just having him back I know he's been with the team and he's on the bench, but having him out on the court is so huge. And he adds another weapon. I mean, just another piece. They were fine without him, but they needed him out there. This team needs him out there on the court. Big Montana texted us yesterday. I think there was like 11 minutes to go in the game, and he was like, we need to put the B squad in. And I was like, I would wait till at least the 8-minute mark. Barnes waited till after the 4-minute timeout. Yeah. But I was like, Triple J needs to play the rest of this game. He hasn't played in over a month, and he needs the on-court conditioning and just the reps to get back in the flow, which I think he's fine. But this team's humming right now, like y'all said. It's fun to watch. I was telling people I was eating lunch with today, I love Tennessee football. I love going to Neyland Stadium. I love going to big road SEC games. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I've always said there's nothing better than going to a huge road SEC game or a big game at Neyland too. But when this basketball team is clicking and it comes March Madness time, like I'm eat up with basketball. Like I don't want to go to work. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to watch basketball. And this Tennessee basketball program right now is where we all kind of always wanted Tennessee basketball to be good. And they've had some success the last 20 years, 20, 30 years, but they've had lulls. Right now, there's no lull. They're one of the best programs in the nation. And I just can't tell you how excited I am about the direction of this program and where it's at right now. And I'm ready to be let down in March again, it seems.
Of course. Of course. That's
no doubt about it. I'm ready to be hurt again.
I am.
That's a Tennessee tradition. That's not just a Rick Barnes thing. That's what I want everybody of the Barnes haters to get through their skull. That has happened ever since I started watching Tennessee basketball.
I remember when I was in high
uber talented teams lose to stupid teams for no reason.
I remember when I was in high school, Tennessee would win that was back when they had divisions in the conference. Tennessee would win the East. They would have Thursday off of the SEC tournament. They would go down Friday and lose right out of the gate to like the 6th seed out of the West or something like that, or whoever it was out of it was like a 5 or a 4 or a something. They would every year they would have these like top 10, 15 ranked teams, and they'd lose in the first round, and then they'd go on and win a couple games in the NCAA tournament, and then they'd gag one away. The worst one in the NCAA tournament for me was that North Carolina game. I think it was 2000.
That's what I was thinking of in my mind.
We were up like 15. It was at Texas. It was at the University of Texas in Austin. We were playing UNC, and UNC's like an 8 seed, and we choked it away. It should have went to, and North Carolina that year went to the Final Four and had no business going to the Final Four. But I mean, it's what happens. It's not Rick Barnes. It's this basketball program, and they got to hopefully find a way to get over that hump. So I told you all at the start we were going to be joined by Big Montana. He's now here. What's going on, Big Montana?
What's up, fellas? How's everybody doing?
We're good.
Outstanding.
Did you get done with your emails?
No, I was actually I was in line to get a COVID shot. Just got home.
I was gonna say, you guys boosted.
I am fully vaccinated. I'm ready to go.
Well, good.
Well, congrats, man. It's a big step.
Hope you don't fall over. Hope you don't collapse halfway through. Oh, Big Montana's out. He's collapsed.
Oh,
Too soon. Too soon. Too soon. He's back. He's back. Big Montana, real quick. We were talking about Tennessee's bloodbath of a win yesterday over the Gamecocks. What do you think about it?
If Tennessee didn't score a point in the second half, they still would have won the game. Right. Just a beautiful stat. Why even play the rest of the season if you're South Carolina? What do you have to look forward to? I mean,
they're not good. I don't feel bad for them though.
They're not, and they gave other teams games. That's what's crazy.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but they messed up getting rid of Frank Martin. I don't care how bad their teams were. They're
100% messed up.
They're still going to be bad. And Frank Martin's he's just one of my favorite coaches in America.
He's still coaching. Where's he at? I can't remember.
It's
up north.
I'm not sure.
It's up north somewhere.
It's like some little school. Hell, we got.
I'm looking it up. Right now.
Somebody look it up while we're talking. So looking ahead to this week for the Vols, they've got 2 games. One on Tuesday night. They host Vandy, 9:00. Gross.
I'll be there.
Harbin's going to be there. Day will be there.
I'll be there.
First basketball's game of the season, so I'm a walking curse. Take Vandy to cover.
I haven't seen a line yet, but I'm looking at it here on the app.
UMass.
Tennessee. Oh, he's at UMass. That's right.
Yeah.
Tennessee is 97.1% chance to win according to BPI. I'm assuming the line's going to be similar to what the line at South Carolina.
Vanderbilt went to overtime with South Carolina. I know it means nothing in basketball because there's so many factors, but it's just crazy.
They beat South Carolina 84-79, and that was on January 3rd. That was at home. Vandy right now is 8-7. I don't know what they are in the conference. I'm trying to look it up.
The funny thing about that South Carolina game was the spread was 17.5, and Austin Hayes was like, "Man, I'm going to hammer that. We're going to beat them by 30." And I was like, "Man, you know how hard it is to get back-to-back 30 pieces in conference play." I was like, taking South Carolina is probably the play. Lo and behold, it just shows you how crazy it is. You follow up 34 with 43. That's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, on
UMass
the road,
is
too.
10-5.
Good.
Let's see what they were last year.
Good.
Let's see what they were last year.
While he's looking that up, Vandy is 1-1 in conference play, 8-7 overall. So I'm assuming Tennessee's going to be heavy favorites against the Commodores in Thompson Bowling Arena and Assembly Center on Tuesday night, 9:00. Day is Dane going to make the trip this week?
Negative.
Too late.
You might have another ticket.
Oh, I may have a.
Stay tuned.
Harb and negative Nease may be there. We'll see.
Stars are lining.
Stars are
15
lined
and
up.
17 last year.
So he's only 5 more wins.
5 games off.
Frank Martin, I mean, he was good at Kansas State. I thought he did a good job at South Carolina. They kind of hit a wall there. I don't know.
I mean, COVID wrecked him so hard, man.
Well,
like him personally.
Oh yeah. Well, then
he looks like a totally different person.
Well, and they went to the Final Four that year, and it's been kind of downhill since. So,
well, the fact that he got South Carolina to a Final Four is kind of ridiculous.
It's crazy. I mean, you think about that. Tennessee is a way better basketball program overall than South Carolina, and they've been to a Final Four. They got hot and went on a magical run, which has to happen. Sometimes sometimes the stars have got to align and fate has to find you, but Tennessee will get there. I mean, I said it about the Cubs for years. Harbin said it about the Red Sox for years. It'll happen eventually. You can't be that good for that long and not get to that point at some point. So, so the Vols got Vandy on Tuesday night, and then Saturday, our friends from the north of us are coming down to Thompson Bowling Assembly Center and Arena. The Kentucky Wildcats, who got it put on them on Saturday at Alabama. The score was closer than the game really was. They lost to Bama 78-52, but I think it was probably worse than that.
Did they play basketball?
They play something. It's not resembling the game of basketball, but
well, I mean, if Kentucky goes down to Alabama, that sounds like a football score or something. 26 points. Surely God they didn't play basketball.
I don't know what they did, but this is what blows me away about this. Tennessee versus Kentucky matchup predictor, BPI. Tennessee is 90.2% chance to win this game. Is that not crazy to say that out loud against? Usually this game is like 50-50.
That means we're going to spank that ass.
Kentucky's not. I was hoping a replay of that game would come on. The only game I've watched of Kentucky this year was the LSU game. I got home from the Mississippi State game the other night and watched the last 10 minutes of it. And this does not look like a Calipari Kentucky team. I don't know what it is about them. There's something off with that team.
Talent's there. Just
I don't know what it is. They've got NBA players all over the roster, and they literally can't score. I mean,
do they?
I mean, looking at the draft boards, they do. Supposedly.
Or are they just first rounders because they've got that blue K next to their names?
I mean, that's probably a lot of it, but
I mean, we saw that with what's his name? BJ Boston. That dude's not very good, and everybody's talking about how he's gonna be a lottery pick. He's just not good.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I'm looking. Their leading scorer right now is Sheboy, 15.8 a game.
He struggles with length so bad.
Yeah, but you get length, which Tennessee's got between Urosh, Adu, even bringing in number 11, Awaka. So I mean, it's Tennessee's better than they are, and it being at home, I think Tennessee should be a pretty decent favorite in that game next Saturday. It's going to be tough for me to watch that one because I work on Saturdays right now, and the Vols are playing at 12. So
yeah, such a brutal start.
Yeah, that's a weird tip-off time, but it's a TV thing, I'm sure. So they plan all this stuff out. So what's your all's thoughts on this week coming up? Vandy and Kentucky. We'll start with Day.
Should win both. We beat Vandy like 38 times in a row. I don't know. It's like seriously a lot. So you can't take that for granted. They got to play the game. The Kentucky, it's Kentucky. They're going to come prepared to play Tennessee. But right now, between the two teams, I mean, Tennessee is humming, and they should take care of business. I expect them to beat Vandy by 15 plus. Kentucky, probably about 10, 15, honestly.
I agree. Harb, what do you think?
We should continue this little roll and smack up on Vandy. I would say that I would expect to win by at least 15 in that game. But boys, we split with Kentucky every year. When they're better than us, we split with them. When we're better than them, we split with them. I don't know. We're going to split with them this year. We're going to lose once to Kentucky. It's just going to happen. So if it does happen on Saturday, let's not all get butthurt and upset about it.
I just want to say we didn't split with them last year because we beat them in the SEC tourney.
Well,
I can see us losing up there.
I know what you mean.
We go back and forth with them all the time, even when they're awful, or if they are awful and we're great, or vice versa. So,
fun fact: they haven't won a road game yet in the conference.
I was about to say they're
sounds like a good time to do it.
Well, yeah.
I hate to sound that way, but I'm expecting a win. If we play like we should beat them by double digits. I don't know, but it wouldn't shock me if they did the damn thing. Just be honest with you.
If this game was at Rupp Saturday, I would be a little concerned. I think Tennessee should be. They're just better than Kentucky right now. But
absolutely.
His being at home gives me a comfort level because Tennessee, FYI, 4-year FYI, has won 24 in a row at home.
Yeah, I forget about that stat.
I've tried to look this up today. I don't know where that ranks in the country. I know Gonzaga's haven't they won a bunch of games at home?
Yeah,
in a row. I know Auburn's won like 29 or 30 in a row at home. So I mean, Tennessee's it's got to be top 5 or 6 that they've in the current rankings that they've won in a row at home. Big Montana, what do you think about this week for the Vols?
If Tennessee plays the way they can play, they shouldn't get beat by anybody. I really believe that. I don't see us lose. I mean, playing in Thompson Bowling Arena is a huge advantage for us. Like you said, if it was at Rupp, I could see, something. But Tennessee's just got to take care of business at home. But if they keep playing defense like they are, if they can be well-rounded on offense like they were the last few games, I mean, we shouldn't lose. I mean, we really shouldn't lose. It's kind of wild after some of the turnover that we've had that we're in this position still. The window is open. It's wide open for us to make a deep run. Will we? Don't know. History says no. But if Tennessee can play Tennessee basketball, we should be very happy at the end of the season one way or the other.
I agree. Really quick, I wanted to look around the conference from yesterday on Saturday. Missouri beat Vandy. That was a tight game, 85-82. I'm still a lot of question marks about Missouri. I don't know about them. I've not really seen them play. So, like we said, Alabama beat Kentucky 78-52. Florida beats Georgia, the return of Mike White to the O-Dome, 82-75. Mississippi State won the Egg Bowl of the basketball of the hardwood at 64-54. I don't know if they play again or not. They may. A&M beat LSU 69-56, kind of brought LSU back down to earth. They've lost 2 in a row. And then Auburn beat Arkansas 72-59.
It's a big win for Auburn.
Yeah, that was a nice win for Auburn. I know Arkansas is banged up right now, bad.
Didn't they lose somebody ACL or something?
Yeah, one of their better players. Can't remember his name, but they're missing somebody else too that's really good. So they're kind of bad. Teams need to take advantage of that right now, because if that, and their names are drawing a blank on me right now. Reagan was at the Auburn game last night. She was sitting on the front row right behind the basket. She was on TV several times. I never could get her to do anything or like make a sign or anything for me. So,
hey, speaking of Reagan, can we talk about that clip that your uncle tweeted out?
Yeah, I'll put it in here. So let's pause for like 2 seconds, and this is the clip of Reagan trying to pronounce Olivier Nkamhoua.
He's from Finland, if that gives you any kind of hint as to how to pronounce his name. Big 6'8" freshman. How would you say that name?
Olivier Nkamhoua.
So she tries to say it Olivier Nkamhoua, which I've always called. When I first saw him, I called him Oliver, but it's Olivier, obviously. But I called him Oliver, just kind of joking around. But Nkamhoua, I think Bowling tweeted something about it yesterday about how you spell his name or something like that. But my uncle Reagan goes to Auburn, my cousin. Y'all probably heard me talk about her on here. But Channel 8, WVLT, was down there like 2 years ago and was walking around Auburn's campus before Tennessee played at Auburn. And they were interviewing students trying to get them to pronounce Olivier Nkamhoua's name just by looking at the spelling. And lo and behold, they run into Reagan walking around campus. And she told the guy, she's like, oh, my cousin and my uncle and his brother all went to UT. Like my whole family's like huge UT fans. And that's one reason they stopped her too. But she was not happy that Eric posted that on Twitter, and then I retweeted it. So y'all can enjoy that clip, and it's here in the podcast. So too bad.
Get over it.
Too bad. Rolling in here, getting out of basketball. Transfer portal news very quickly, because Harb's got a big story to tell here in a minute. But Day Vol has hopefully an update, breaking news from the transfer portal. I'm trying to look it up too, but go ahead and tell us what you got. Tennessee football transfer portal update.
I think everybody knows about Thornton now. That one seems to be the wide receiver they want. They've wanted him for a long time, and I wouldn't say it was done or anything, but I mean, even Austin Price is basically saying, hey, he announces at 1, but I kind of been floating that stuff to you a lot. I don't know the Norman Lott guy. Haven't seen that name a lot, but apparently he's one to watch tomorrow.
And what does he play? Position? Where's he from?
Defensive lineman, Arizona State.
Okay.
I haven't, where I saw the Thornton stuff, hadn't seen anything about that name. Campbell, I guess that's the offensive tackle from Miami. Haven't seen anything my way, like where I share my tidbits, but I don't know. Nobody has a feel for that guy. It's us or Gators, but that's tomorrow as well. Now there is a DB that I haven't seen mentioned on VolQuest. I don't have a name, but he has experience at P5 and probably going to be bringing that guy in. Not a home run type of player, but a very good, solid player. There's been speculation that it's the guy from BYU that was at Vandy, went to BYU, put up some pretty good stats, but again, not like the best there is, but elevating our play by far. So that's one to watch. Don't know when that'll happen. And then maybe a running back from a big time school.
Ooh. Any names?
Are you referring to?
I'm not giving that name yet. Not giving that name yet. We'll see when there's more to come. I'll give that off the pod. Just to.
Are you referring to a team that recently got eliminated from the playoffs?
Maybe.
Ooh, this is juicy.
Now, that one is just like
that'd be fun.
Been reached out to Tennessee Collective. That's all I'm gonna give you. How about that? Now, that doesn't mean Tennessee's interested. That just means someone's interested in Tennessee. Does that make sense?
So I'm gonna say this. You can probably say the player's name, and no one listens to this show. So
I want to keep you in limbo.
I got you. Oh, I got
Harb
you.
knows.
Okay.
Harb knows.
Harb's got it. I'll have to do a
Following
little
along.
research.
I saw rumblings of it not too long ago. But like you said, I mean, it was just a whisper in the wind, so it may be nothing.
Yeah.
But
And
I saw that kicked around though.
It's whispered more than once now. Let's just say that.
That's
type
true.
Of deal. I will say, and I didn't say anything because this is out of respect for the guy I work with. He told me that we were getting the kicker, like well before we got that kicker
from Indiana.
Yeah. He knew we were getting a tight end. He just didn't know who. And then it's kind of funny that the tight end we got, he coaches in Knoxville somewhere now, but he was his tight ends coach at UC Davis before he came back. South Doyle, that's where he is. And he's like, he is legit. You know, they got a real player.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, there's another coach there at Heritage High School, Joel. Is it Joe Osavad or?
Yeah,
he coached under Butch Jones as a tight ends coach, and he's the head coach at Heritage High School now. One I wanted to ask about, and I'm trying to look his name up. I don't know if you mentioned him or not. The defensive lineman from Kentucky, Justin Rogers. Is there anything with UT on that?
Him. I haven't heard a thing about him.
Well, I wondered about him because Tennessee
seen anything about that or not, but I haven't seen anything.
I was asking about that one because Tennessee did recruit him pretty heavily, and he was a 4-star lineman. So I didn't know if I'm looking on here to try to see if there's any names or teams with him, and I'm not seeing any right this second. So, anyways, I just was wondering about that one. He was a top 50 player out of high school, so he had a lot of talent. He had 35 tackles his junior season. So I don't know.
Outside of UT, really the one portal move that kind of made me raise my eyebrows a little bit is the quarterback from the previous quarterback at Oklahoma State. Is that Hartman or Hartwell or something like that? He ended up at Notre Dame. And say what you want about Notre Dame, but I think that could be a big time move.
Wait, the Wake Forest guy, Hartman?
Yes.
Yeah, that's who they picked up.
Did they get the guy from Wake Forest or the guy from Oklahoma?
They got the guy from Wake Forest.
Oh, the quarterback from Wake Forest is more than I haven't seen anything official, but I'm pretty sure he's going to Notre Dame.
Oh, it's official. He was a dude.
No, it was official. It's official. I remember seeing
official.
That.
Okay.
I thought the guy from Oklahoma State's in the portal as well. Is he committed anywhere?
Are you? Which one from Oklahoma?
I'm not sure.
Oh, Oklahoma State. Yes. Okay, I'm thinking Oklahoma.
Yeah, the quarterback. Well, I
know you're talking about. I don't know who.
I apologize on that, but that boy from Wake Forest is damn good too. So that's either way, that's going to be a big time move for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I was thinking the old boy from Oklahoma State went there. So I apologize about that.
Day was talking about the Thornton kid, Deontay Thornton from Oregon. He was in town on campus in Knoxville this weekend. He sent out an announcement on Saturday at 9:38 p.m. that just says 1-9, which is Monday, January 9th, 1 p.m. So he's going to announce at 1 p.m. tomorrow. He was in town, like I said, this weekend. He is a former 4-star prospect, 57th overall in the class of 21. Played 2 seasons at Oregon, played 11 games this season. He caught, this is what blows my mind, 17 passes, 366 yards, averaging over 20 yards per reception. Came on late in the year, saw his best game against Utah where he caught 4 passes for 151 yards. He's got 2 years of eligibility left. He also recently visited Arkansas and Auburn, and has had conversations, it says, with Miami. But it seems to me that all signs are pointing to him coming to Knoxville. We'll see tomorrow. So if you're listening to this, it's today. But Tennessee's lost Walker Merrill, Jimmy Callaway, and Jimmy Holiday to the transfer portal. So I think if they can add Thornton, also losing Tillman and Hyatt, they need some depth there, even though they've got some guys coming in. freshman coming in, but this guy's got he's experienced, game experience. He's an upper class or trending to an upperclassman. So
who is the Mississippi State guy that we had that just burnt everybody all the time? Last year, not this current last year, but the year before, played on the edge. I mean, every ball he caught was a touchdown, it seemed like.
Talking about Peyton?
What was his name? Yes.
Oh, Peyton. Yeah.
That's what I see this guy being, but more athletic.
Yeah, no, and he's what they said he would probably play in the slot. I think he's 6'5", 6'6", something like that. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting.
Brew's definitely going to move over to said spot.
Yeah,
and then Keaton, I think Keaton is fine with being like a 4. You know, he knows he's going to get in. He knows he's going to produce. Because I don't know, I don't know if you ever want him to be your 1. At any position. I know he stepped up and was the 1, but for a whole year, I don't know.
If we ever have to go 5 wide, like empty backfield, and we trot out Brew McCoy, Ramel Keaton, Squirrel White, and let's say we get the Thornton kid from Oregon and Jacob Warren, since he's coming back, there is definitely worse 5s to throw out there. Like that is still a very elite receiving core. Like we're going to be just fine.
Yeah. Well, we'll be fine even if Dante doesn't come here, Thornton. But
right.
God,
look at
bolster.
We're going to be looking just fine.
Last year came off of what I don't know, 100, 200 yard year, and then threw up whatever he did, 1,200 yards.
It's the system, man. It'll flourish in it. Real quick, this afternoon while we're on football, I was working on some stuff, and then I was looking around at the way, I guess these would be way too early top 25s for next year. They always do this. Right when the season's over, they'll put out their top 25 for next year, even though the rosters are nowhere near being set, especially now with the transfer portal. But I always like looking at these just to kind of see where Tennessee might be and where teams that are up top this year might end up being next year. So I looked at athlonsports.com. They've got Georgia number 1, the Michigan 2. That I wonder if that might change if Harbaugh decides to jump ship. Ohio State 3, USC 4. Caleb Williams will be back, so that's why. Alabama 5. They're going to be starting a new quarterback, a lot of new players there, so we'll see about that one. Florida State at 6. They've won 10 double-digit games for the first time since 2016. So Mike Norvell's got them trending in the right direction. LSU at 7, Penn State at 8, and there's Tennessee at number 9, according to Athlon. And Washington at 10. Washington could be good next year. Penix is back, former Butch Jones recruit that went to Indiana. Looking around the rest of the top 25, I've got Clemson at 13. Looking for other SEC teams. Wow, Tulane at 18. Is Tulane here to stay? We'll see. Wow, Ole Miss at 22. Arkansas 23.
Arkansas.
And South Carolina at 25. It says if quarterback Spencer Rattler returns, because I've heard rumors that he might transfer out.
I think he needs to go to the league.
I'm fanning the stink off of that 25 list.
And here's one that interested me. They have a
Where's
next
Kentucky
tier.
though?
I hadn't run into them yet. Here's one that's interesting. We talked about this last show. Number 27, UT San Antonio.
Oh yeah.
They're
going to be a good team.
That could be a big game next year.
It ain't going to be a cupcake game.
No,
absolutely
being in Neyland, in our offense, we should outscore them and we should be able to out-athlete them. But you never know.
If we look how we're supposed to look, I mean, I would assume that we'd be somewhere between like a 14 and 17 point favorite. But you're still going to have to play to beat them. Like, they ain't bad whatsoever.
Right.
Oh, I found Kentucky, guys. They
69.
are in the other teams to watch. So they're, let's see. 40, 41, 42. They're 43.
That's too high.
Good job, Kentucky.
And
Too
there's
high.
no numbers on this, so they may just be talking about these teams.
Are you sure that's not the basketball rankings?
It might be.
Mm.
The addition of quarterback Devin Leary from NC State and running back Ray Davis from Vanderbilt, and the potential return of offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, who's at the Rams, could help Kentucky have the most improved offense in the SEC next year. Most improved, they had the number one pick in the country.
That's true.
Wow. How can you improve
number
from
one
that?
pick at throwing picks? That's about all it is.
What do you think I read something today that the Titans are interested in him. Will you all slit your wrist or what?
I'll just stop. I've already pretty much stopped watching, so I might as well just.
I may need to find a new NFL team.
Go back to cheering for the Packers.
Have you all heard?
I'd just like to take a quick second and say I feel for my Titans brothers because I am a Dallas Cowboys fan. But when the Titans aren't playing the Cowboys, I do pull for them. You know, it's the home state team. I pull for them. Dude, that was an incredibly shitty 2 months. Like I legitimately
7 losses in a row.
I legitimately feel bad for you guys. Like I truly do.
Like I have no emotion tied to the Titans. Like none. Like I watch them, but there's no, oh my gosh, and none of that.
I mean, I was aggravated last night, but it wasn't like when if Tennessee would have done something like that, I may have burned my house down. Or at least destroyed
we have, so we know that's a lie.
At least destroyed the inside of it.
Hey, I have a hot take for you guys. Calipari is going to leave Kentucky this year and take the Texas job.
Richard G. West has already reported it.
Richard G. West is already on the case, my friend.
For $11 million a year.
If Texas
he knows that his time is nearing an end in Kentucky, and he's going to go grab the bag somewhere else.
But if Texas is smart, they go get Nate Oates and call it a day.
I agree. Nate's good. I like him.
Here's my question, though. Why would he leave?
Because he's going to be still coaching in the SEC.
Okay.
Texas is much better basketball school than Alabama would ever dream of being.
I agree with that as well.
I mean, it's just, to me, it's a better situation. Yes, football is life there too, but in Alabama, football, I mean, they would burn his program to the ground.
That's all good and true, but Alabama's got the pockets to keep him, and right now they're hovering around top 5, and he keeps getting very good recruiting classes. I mean, the talent level that he brings in can't increase that much by going to Texas.
I was about to say,
like, if they keep winning, why wouldn't he stay?
Texas has, I think, is better than Bama's currently.
I was about to ask, Alabama's got pretty deep pockets. Would they let him leave? Well, I mean, they're going.
Texas arguably has the deepest pockets in America.
Nobody's out paying Texas.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if he's happy at Alabama and they give him a little bump, would he leave to go to Texas for more than that?
I don't know where he's from, his background. I don't know his ties, but unless he's from the state of Texas, I don't see it happening. Just personally.
Here's my thing. If you offer me $2 million more a year, I'm going to live in Austin, Texas over Tuscaloosa, Alabama any day of the week.
That's true too. No, that's a damn fact.
Y'all would like Austin over Tuscaloosa?
Yes.
Austin's kind of a hippie town now. Liberal wasteland. Not wasteland.
At least there's shit to do. What's there to do in Tuscaloosa?
Well, that's true. Mind your own business is all I know you can do there.
Tuscaloosa.
Literally, Nick Saban goes to the lake and does nothing else because there's nothing else there.
That's true. It is nothing to do.
Nick Saban has to have dealerships in Tennessee because it's so bad down there.
That's right.
Well, that Texas job is going to be interesting as we get closer.
It will be,
or as the season ends. I don't think they'll do anything right now, but they're still playing pretty well even without.
It's a good team, man.
Without Big Montana's favorite coach, Chris Beard.
Listen, sometimes women deserve it, boys. It's all I'm gonna say.
Oh wow!
Oh jeez.
Oh wow!
Listen, I'm all for equality.
Jeez.
All right.
Pivot.
Harbin has a big.
So on that note, I'm going to bed.
Harbin went to the casino the other night. So tell us which casino you were and who you ran into.
I did. So I guess about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago at this point, I get a text from friend of the show and loyal listener, Jake Monett. He texted me and said, "What do you think about driving over Cherokee tonight?" I said, "It's fine with me."
He's using some of that youth basketball money.
He is. So we drove over there. We got there late. We probably didn't get there till probably 11:30, I'd say. We go play blackjack, play for a couple hours, get up, get down. You know how blackjack is. We both pretty much break even. I think mine might have made like $15, and I came out dead even. We're about to leave. It's about 2 a.m. at this point in time. And I always walk by roulette tables on my way out because roulette is like my vice. So I'm walking by and I see probably 8 or 9 very large African-American men sitting at a closed roulette table, and they was all watching a table that was being played. So naturally I was like, I wonder what's going on over here. So we walk up and we see a very high profile individual playing at this table, and there was 2 seats open next to him. So I look at Monett and I say, Monett, I'm gonna have to play at least one spin so I can tell this damn story. So for about 30 minutes, Jake Monett and I played roulette with Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
And
the answer.
The answer.
Or the question.
Bankrupt.
It do not matter what the question is.
No.
And he was throwing enough money on each spin that made me absolutely nauseous. Like,
I'm sure
he threw down, like, in the span of 2 spins, he threw my net worth down. Probably more. That's not a joke.
I know it's not. That's what's funny.
So, and he was kind of losing his ass, and he obviously wasn't very happy. But he kept throwing money on 3, 15, and 24. Obviously, 3 for him. I don't know. I'm assuming 15s for Melo back in their Denver days.
It's probably for me. I was number 15. That's what it was.
Fair. 15 for negative Nease.
I'm just kidding. No, it's probably 20, Melo.
And 24 was for Kobe.
Yeah.
And I know this answer because I witnessed him win somewhere in the ballpark of 20 grand when the ball landed on 24. And after they raked his chips to him, he smacked that 24 and said, "That's for my expletive brother." And I thought that was cool as shit. I really did. Yeah.
So
it was surreal. It was surreal. That's all it was.
That's crazy to me that Allen Iverson was in Cherokee, North Carolina.
Apparently he's been there quite a bit because I was telling the story to Bowling when we was on our way to Nashville, and he had heard a person or two. Yeah, he did.
I didn't want to.
He stole my damn thunder. I was like, oh, thanks a lot. But he had said that he had heard a person or two say they'd seen him over there, and I've heard 2 or 3 people say they ran into him. But yeah, I was bumping shoulders, rubbing elbows with the answer, playing roulette.
Did you say anything to him?
Yeah, we cut up as soon as I got to the table. I mean, it was just very like introductory, like, "Hey, what's up?" You know, blah blah blah, whatever. But after that, for the first 15 minutes I was at the table, he was in a very bad mood. So I was not going to be that guy. I was not going to be that guy to be like, I don't know, just say something stupid while he's pissed off, losing tens of thousands of dollars. But yeah, it was dope though. I got a fist bump. I did get a fist bump after he hit big. Yeah.
That's probably one of those times you wish you could whip your cell phone out and take a selfie.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wanted to, but I was not about to be that guy.
Like, no.
Yeah, Yeah, telling the story was enough for me. Would have been cool as hell to get a picture with him at 3 a.m. in Cherokee, North Carolina on a Wednesday night. Yeah, it'd have been hilarious.
It's got to be something Harris related for him to be there.
I don't know.
Because like I know Harris like gives points for other Harris locations, so he probably spends so much money a year that he has to go to every Harris location to like use the 20 grand they give him to gamble.
My theory is it's a nice casino. It's pretty good size, but it's in the middle of nowhere, so very little high profile people are going to be there. And I think he kind of thinks it's low key. Part of
okay, so I Googled Allen Iverson, Cherokee, North Carolina. The first story that comes up is from TigerDroppings.com, February 21st, 2021. The title is, I got drunk last night at a blackjack table in North Carolina with Allen Iverson. This is from a message board. My buddy is a pit boss and hold on a second. Where'd it go? Harris Cherokee Casino. He was betting side money. Yes, he had no patience when it comes to blackjack. It says here, the dealer asked him if he practices blackjack. He laughed. Let's see. There was something that the guy keeps. There's something here. I have a friend here in North Carolina that was at one with him one time, and he said Iverson and his entourage all got kicked out. Harris Cherokee Casino apparently is a popular landing spot for Allen Iverson.
Card carrying a member.
Yeah. That's crazy.
He likes to be amongst the regular folk.
Somebody else posted here that they ran into Dominique Wilkins at Cherokee. This was in June of 2010. They ran into Dominique Wilkins at Cherokee a year or so ago. So that would have been like 2009. Dealer that night told us that after Dominique left the table that Michael comes in from time to time, and apparently as well, and they set up the own room for him.
You know, you got to think if those guys were to go to Biloxi or Vegas or Jersey or Detroit or, you know, the big gambling towns, they probably would get bombarded. So
Cherokee, you're right.
Cherokee, North Carolina is probably a bunch of, I mean, for the most part, it's a bunch of, you know, elderly white people that probably have no idea who Allen Iverson is.
Yeah, you're right. It's a little more isolated than Vegas or Biloxi or places like that.
Well, those are destination casinos. Like Cherokee is not. Cherokee basically takes care of Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, like people just wanting to go gamble. Like people go to Vegas for other reasons.
Well, maybe when they get the casinos built at the 407 exit area, we'll see AI there one day gambling. Maybe Barkley shows up. Who knows? Maybe
I'll be dead by then. I've heard that's at a standstill.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of moving pieces.
Buc-ee's. That's all that matters.
They're getting the Buc-ee's, and they're also getting a new UPS plant
and a new exit.
Speaking of Buc-ee's, I took Harbin to his first Buc-ee's going to Nashville.
Oh yeah. I hit old Bussies for the first time.
So you didn't go. You didn't go when we were on the golf trip. You didn't go to Buc-ee's then.
No.
When Chad Grubb, we walked in on Friday morning. We'd been up partying all night, late night, and we walk into Buc-ee's the next morning. You know, when you walk in, everybody screams at you, "Welcome to Buc-ee's." We walk in, and Chad Grubb's like scared to death when he hears it. He's like, "Why does everybody keep yelling, 'Welcome to Buc-ee's' at me?" So the whole rest of the trip, you would randomly hear Chad Grubb say, "Welcome to Buc-ee's."
So I've been one of those people where I make fun of people for going out of their way to go see a gas station. I'll be honest about that. Like people literally making day trips to drive to Crossville to go see a damn gas station. That's ridiculous. And I still stand by that. However, if you're driving through Crossville,
I go to Buc-ee's.
You can't, if you ain't never been, you got to stop in there just to just to see it.
Big Montana.
I mean,
just the smile.
I mean, so we're pulling in, and I'm like, damn, this is a big parking lot. Well, I saw like a quarter of it. There's like 200, there's like 100 and something gas pumps. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is a BMF, you know? So we're walking in. Hell, they've got grills and fire pits and porch swings for sale. And I'm like, where am I? What am I doing? Like, is this a cult? Like, is this just like a placard for, am I going to get abducted? So we walk in. It's literally the size of a damn Food City, maybe bigger.
No, that's Walmart big.
Depending on if you go to Blaine or not, like it might be bigger. They have a whole retail section. They were selling Hey Dudes and coolers, damn PFG button ups.
Wow, man.
It was definitely an experience. I hated how many people were in there. That's just a weird tick of mine, though. I tried to beef jerky.
There's too many. There's too many.
Yeah, the two times I've been, it's been packed. But I will say that that morning that we went in there to the golf trip, I got a brisket burrito, breakfast burrito, and a sausage breakfast burrito. Fantastic. They were great.
Yeah, way better than gas station food.
Oh, yeah.
No. Those beaver nuggets, Bowling and I split a pack of those on the way to Nissan Stadium. Those are fire. I don't know. I have no idea what the hell they are. They're good,
delicious.
But they're good from what I've heard. I need to go. When they open up here, I'm not going to Crossville to go. Yeah.
We always stop when we go into Florida.
But the people
in Jacksonville.
It was getting old back in the summer when people were literally driving out of their way to go to Crossville or Cookeville, wherever it's at, and taking pictures outside of it. And then the time I was in there with my mom and dad, the mascot was walking around, and people were taking adults were taking their picture with the mascot. I'm like,
the next time you go, get gas there and look up at the salaries and like wages they pay these people. The general manager for that store makes $250,000 a year. Like,
I see why though.
Their starting salaries start at like $27 an hour.
Well, that's as Biden and the Democrats say, those are good paying jobs.
Yeah, no shit.
Good paying jobs. All right. Well, that's all I got for this week's show.
Yeah. We'll end on Buc-ee's.
We've covered a wide variety of topics: Tennessee basketball, transfer portal, AI at Harris Cherokee Casino, Buc-ee's. What a show we've had.
The Dallas Cowboys did Dallas Cowboy things today. Pissed down our leg and lost by 20 to the Washington Commanders. Major Tutty.
Major Tutty, their new mascot.
We lost to Major Tutty. You know what though? I saw something on Twitter, and I always fall in love with these very stupid patterns. So I saw something that said this is how the Cowboys season went. It said we lost first game of the year, and then we lost 4 games, or then we won 4 in a row. Then we lost a game, and then we won 2 in a row, and then went lost, won 4 in a row, lost, won 2 in a row, and we lost.
We're ready.
So going off of patterns, it says we're about to rattle off 4 in a row, and if we win 4 games in a row, the Dallas Cowboys are Super Bowl champions.
Well, let me just tell you, you're going to lose 2 in a row because this is what you always do.
Dude, if we lose to Tom Brady, so
just prepare yourself.
Hey, Day, take it easy, man. I've seen this shit my whole life, and
I know that's why I'm trying to. Don't get your hopes up.
Tom Brady is 7-0 in his career against the Dallas Cowboys, and if that becomes 8-0 next week or 2 weeks, however long when it's going to be, I will go into hiding, and none of y'all will see me for at least a month. At least
we'll see you middle of February.
So if we lose to an 8-9 Bucks team the first round,
buddy. I'm telling
I'm
you.
going off the grid. I'm
We
going off the
may,
grid.
He's
we
going to go
may
off.
need,
He's going to go off the grid until Rick Barnes loses in the first weekend of March Madness.
we,
I mean,
talking about
it's
tradition.
one and the same.
we may
just
need
be
to
ready for it.
host. We may need to host, depending on when that game is. They haven't
Proof of
announced the
life
game
check.
times yet, but we may need to host a watch party for Big Montana and Harb. Huge
man.
Cowboy fans here.
I'll
so we
do a
can
live cast. Do a live cast.
possibly. We'll have to see. I don't know how that we can set that up, but yeah, at least
We would have to edit that and censor it because
Yeah.
would drop some stuff that is not
Yeah.
appropriate.
But at
Put
least
on YouTube.
like I
YouTube
can.
only.
Let's see when that game is. We may have a watch party for you two next Saturday night or whatever it is, Saturday or Sunday. We'll see.
I don't know if I want to be a part of it. I'll be in
Okay.
shadows. No, I'll
Or you could.
I'll
Or
do
you
it
could just
because
be
people
elated.
love watching people be
Yeah.
miserable.
No, we
and
want you to be.
for the good of the show.
Yeah, for the show, for the brand.
But however, if
The
we do beat
ratings.
Tom Brady for the first time in his career, I don't give a damn if he's 63 years old or however old he is. You're gonna see me act like we won the damn Super Bowl. Like seriously.
We'll work on that. We'll stay tuned after the Packers and the Lions are playing tonight, so I'm sure they'll announce after the game later on Sunday night when the game times are. So we'll keep you all posted.
Speaking of that game, the score is currently 6-9.
Nice.
Actually, Detroit just scored.
Good. Hey, who scored? Who scored?
Detroit,
No, I know, but
the
who?
running back, number 30.
Jamal. Congratulations to Austin Hayes. He bet on Jamal Williams to be the first touchdown scorer of the game. So
There you go.
congratulations, Austin Hayes, for hitting your bet.
Man, real quick before we check out, national championships on Monday night. Who do y'all got?
Don't care. TCU.
I'm riding with the Hypno Toads. I put too much money on them plus 12.5 and a little bit on a money line. I'm riding until the wheels fall off.
I think Georgia wins by 3 touchdowns.
I'm with Big
Yes.
Montana. I'm taking the dogs.
I hope
To
they
cover.
don't, but I think they do.
I'm taking the dogs to cover. But
I'm sending y'all an invoice if they do.
I hope they don't because I want a good game. But that's tomorrow night. Thank God, 7:30. They've been kicking these games off at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. They've got to change the NCAA basketball championship game. 9-10 tip-offs. Come on.
Here's my question to the
Which it is changing from what I've heard.
Here's my question to the playoff committee or the NCAA or whoever made this decision. One, I would like to say that I'm glad it's coming on at 7:30. Second of all, why do you put it in a city where locally it kicks off at 4:30? And on top of that, you put it in a city that does not give a damn about college football. Why what is I mean, obviously it's money. That's the answer.
LA and the stadium. That's the
But
only
it's
reason.
kicking off at 4:30.
Well, they've had it. They've had it
apparently
at the
they're not
Rose.
allowing-
They've had it at the Rose Bowl before, and they'll have
I mean-
it again. So
They're not allowing tailgate in the designated parking lots for SoFi Stadium.
yeah, it's
Sad.
it's money. That's it. Bid money, all that stuff. So, real quick, Harbin. I told Bowling about this last night. I have gone back and randomly, when I have time, I've started on WWE watching the storyline from when Stone Cold gets run over with a car at Survivor Series 99, and I'm working my way through. Stephanie McMahon just got married while she was blackout drunk to Triple H, and it all ended up being a ruse at Armageddon when she turns on her family to join Triple H. So that's kind of where I'm at right now in that storyline. But I was in tears the other night watching it, the Armageddon pay-per-view. And it'll eventually, I want to work my way to where it reveals who runs over Stone Cold, which I know who it is, but
One of them videos that you sent me on Instagram either today or yesterday,
Triple H and Stone
Jim
Cold.
Ross was so good, or he still is really, but back in that time period, man,
Oh, it's
there was
awesome.
nobody better. Like, you legitimately believe that he wanted Triple H burn at the stake.
And I've actually put in that clip at the start of the intro of the podcast as Big Montana has left us. So, yeah, you're right. Jim Ross is fantastic. So, all right, guys, that might be a sign to get out of here. Big Montana left. So,
We didn't want him anyway.
appreciate
Good night,
everybody.
boys.
Appreciate everybody listening. Remember, you can find us wherever you get podcasts. As Day Vol is now left. It's just me and Harb now.
I'm not leaving.
Remember, you can get us. Big Montana's computer died. Too bad. Remember, you can get us anywhere you find podcasts. And appreciate everybody listening. We're on YouTube. You can watch us there. You can see this button I'm holding up on the screen. Piss on ESPN, ABC, and the Heisman. If you want a sticker from the YY8 podcast, let me know. Just mailed up some to YY8 Refugee. So appreciate you guys listening. So we'll see you guys next week. Big week for Tennessee basketball, national championship tomorrow night. And we'll be back next week to recap it all. This has been the Section YY8 podcast.